You've probably seen this clip that's doing the rounds the day of the fans last night booing players taking a knee before Wednesday's 1-0 win over Austria in a Euro 2020 warm-up match, which took place in Middlesbrough, a friendly game, but the response to players taking the knee, maybe less than friendly. See what you think.
Players will take the knee. There has been a mixed reaction of crowds from all the players.
I think calling it a mixed reaction, it's probably overwhelmingly a bit booey there, but I think England's manager Gareth Southgate has totally got this all wrong in his response to this, pandering to those who care more about virtue signalling than they do actually identifying racial inequality and other forms of inequality in the country that might well exist. So have a listen.
I did hear it. It's not something on behalf of our black players that I wanted to hear, because it feels as though it's a criticism of them. I think we have got a situation where some people seem to think it's a political stand that they don't agree with.
A political stand? Black Lives Matter, a political stand? Has Mr. Southgate not been watching the press, the media, the telly over the last year? Piers Morgan then joined in, as always, and argued that actually a year on from the death of George Floyd, this is my interpretation of it, right? A year on from the death of George Floyd, in which that act of subservience, the getting down on bended knee, which most of us would only do for Her Majesty the Queen, or your wife, but those things being inextricably linked with Black Lives Matter, the political movement, getting down on bended knee, that act of subservience. And Piers argued that actually the players couldn't have made it any clearer. They're not supporting any political organisation. They're simply protesting against racial inequality. The fans know this, but many still boo because they're idiots or racists. And then you look at things like this, and you see the slogans that were once all over the uniforms of our players. It's inextricably linked now, that act of getting down on bended knee. And I know it's boring, this stuff, and it's redundant for many of you now, but I'm going to have to say it anyway. The slogan Black Lives Matter, I've not met anyone that disagrees with that. It's entirely laudable, and in a country like the United Kingdom, the vast majority agree with that statement. We enjoy absolutely fantastic race relations here, and I think actually the Marxist outfit and its divisive agenda, the BLM agenda, represents something entirely different. Not in the British tradition. It's a hateful, divisive and extremist organisation that's toppled statues, memorials, defaced them, and violently attacked coppers and all else who won't be as submissive as our footballers are. And it's shocking to me, that it's considered brave to refuse to take the knee to an organisation or to boo an organisation with an agenda as dangerous and divisive as that of Black Lives Matter. Were you to ask most footy fans if they support giving equal opportunities to people of all races, regardless of physical immutable characteristics like skin colour, or sexuality, or gender, that you should provide all individuals with the legal, moral and political equality that we all deserve and our God-given rights, I think the answer would come as an emphatic yes. Ask them if they support BLM, it'll probably be an emphatic no, because we now know what they stand for. The crowds at Middlesbrough's Riverside Stadium, folks, booing these players, kneeling down on the divisive cult of BLM's knee. Again, against Black Lives Matter, it's not the same as being against black people. Booing the knee, the taking of the knee at football matches isn't the same as being against black people. Being opposed to a group that is engaged in wanton acts of criminality, that seeks to defund the police and convince our kids that they're inherently racist or privileged for being born white, that doesn't make you racist either. You can have solidarity with and show your support for racial equality by not being racist. Or, a novel idea, I know, by judging a player on their performance on the pitch, not by the colour of their skin. Since when did subservience and knee bending become a necessary prerequisite of not being bigoted? And ultimately, right, I think footy fans, the vast majority of footy fans, don't care about the colour of a player's skin on the pitch. They care about those playing for their club, black and white, being able to actually score goals and get them up that league table. So those watching football, I think, are far too often dismissed as being thick, ignorant or chippy little oiks that need to be re-educated by British blue tick commentariat members. But we don't. Supporting BLM or bowing to the knee or bowing to that belief that being white gives you some inherent privilege, these are all, to many of us, repulsive and racist ideas. And it's just interesting to me that the likes of the liberal commentariat and these footballers that bow the knee to this organisation, an organisation that, let's not forget, their followers of which have defaced the cenotaph and apparently seek to dismantle our entire system. And that, to me, is making an explicitly political statement. Gareth Southgate was right on that. One that should be left outside of the game, though, I would argue, Mr. Southgate. And when you wear that slogan on your shirts, do you realise what you're actually endorsing? I'm not too sure you would if you did. Absolutely, folks, stand up for racial equality, especially on social media. Stamp out the poison of racism and the abuse that players get. I've no doubt they do. But you've got black players actually saying, I'm not taking the knee anymore. Long may our country uniquely continue to enjoy fantastic race relations against groups that seek to divide her. I do strongly believe that. But bowing the knee to BLM? No way. I hope more fans actually start to stand up against this frankly absurd pandering to this extreme political outfit. Get the extreme politics out of the game. It's got no place in our national sport. Reasoned relies upon grassroots donations from people like yourself that want us to continue producing our high quality, free thinking content. So please do consider clicking the link and donating, no matter how big, no matter how small, because it really does ensure that we can keep on keeping on.